Hey, what's up, everybody? BDF44 coming at you with another video. All right, so Braun update. Basically, he's gonna be out probably for the next 2 or 3 games. I look, man. I say this all the time. I never ever run from my true opinion as it pertains to what this franchise should be doing. I know it's not popular, but I understand our situation very, very, very clearly. And I also understand the lay of the land as it pertains to the teams that are out there and what we're going to be facing this year and likely over the next several years. This is not the era to be without assets. There's too many young players who have prominent roles all over the league for you to be a team that has no path to receiving some of the best young talent over the next several years. This is not the time to be that. LeBron James is 4 months younger than me. I was born in 1984, fam. I am old. Okay? I feel young, I look young, but nah, I've been around for a long time. I'm an old head, I'm your unk. And I'm telling you, I should not be leading anything physically. Okay? Now my mind, I feel good, I can go work out, I could jog, I could do all kinds of stuff, lift weights, but I should not be leading a basketball team by any stretch of the imagination, no football team, none of that. It's retire time for guys in my generation. 84 guys, we're on our way out. Even the best of us, it's time to sit down. It's time to get in the booth. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Now, I understand LeBron James is not from this planet. He's a different type of human specimen, nor would I ever say that I'm anything like that in any way, shape, or form. No, of course not. But what I'm telling you is, if that is your best asset and you don't have no picks till 2027, you have a problem. A massive one. You look at the next asset that we have, Anthony Davis. I like Anthony Davis's talent. I really do. I think Anthony Davis is really, really great. And about 5 years ago, he was a top 10 player in this league. He's not that right now, and it has nothing to do with him. They're just guys who come into the league that are better than that. Nikola Jokic is better than AD. Joel Embiid is better than AD. You see what I'm saying? I'm just talking about big men. I'm not even going to go into the smaller guys. These guys are better than him. They are. Even as great as he is, they are better than him. And he's more brittle than them. And I know it's not popular to say that about Joel Embiid because we know his injury history. But have you seen him miss too many games lately? Are you watching him now? AD's value has decreased just by the lay of the land getting better. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Has nothing to do with him. On top of that, he's not playing up to the standard he's supposed to play up to this year. So he looks like he's on the decline a little early, which is kind of disturbing. That's our second best asset. Our third best asset, Russell Westbrook. Do I have to illustrate you guys the issues with him being your third best asset? Do I have to illustrate that to you? Him making $44 million next year? What's your next best asset? Probably Malik Monk, possibly. If I'm being completely honest with you, probably Malik Monk. The way he's been playing, he has elevated his play from what it was that we signed him to be. And because of it, he's probably going to walk. He's going to make more money somewhere else when his contract is up, which means we're probably going to either have to force ourselves to watch him walk away or trade him early like, I don't know, today. Nobody wants to do that. You think I want to trade Malik Monk? Hell no. I want to have Malik Monk's money ready for him when it's time to re-sign him. He should be a Laker going forward. Okay? He's getting better in this league. You want that guy. Then you look at the other assets we have. THT. His development is not coming along very fast. There's nothing wrong with that. Because if you looked at Malik Monk in year 2 or year 3, THT is actually doing better than Malik Monk was at that age. So if you're looking at THT and you're concerned, don't be. Just don't be. But the problem is, for what we got going on, we need him to be better than he is right now. It's just what it is. After that, then you start looking at our undrafted guy, Austin Reeves, of whom I would never, ever let walk, just simply because he's always going to be at best value. I don't think he's an all-star level player, but he's super smart. So it doesn't matter what team he's on, he's going to make them better. It doesn't matter what role they give him. He's going to make whoever's on the floor better because of his presence and the smarts that he provides. He draws a lot of fouls offensively. He rebounds the ball very well. He has a knack for the ball. His three-point shot ain't really where it needs to be, but you've seen him hit clutch shots. He has clutch gene. He tends to play his best games in pressured minutes. He's going to be fantastic. But he ain't there yet. And it's going to be a long time before he reaches his peak. And if we trade him now, we're selling him extremely low, just like THT. Where are the rest of our assets? That's it. Everybody else on this team don't have no value, y'all. Am I missing somebody? Kendrick Nunn, of whom no one has seen in over a year? Making $5 million our mid-level exception and no path to seeing him come to the court anytime soon? He keeps having setback after setback after setback. You don't have any options, LA. That's what I'm trying to express in this camera. We don't have any options. We don't have any assets. There's no way forward unless we turn LeBron James and Anthony Davis into the assets that we need to make us a path forward. That's what has to happen. And I know ain't nobody going to say that because it's just not something you're going to want to do. Letting go of LeBron James is absolutely and utterly just bad if you are anyone else other than us. But this is why you do not trade a bunch of players for Russell Westbrook's contract. Even if you think it's what a LeBron wants, you don't do that because it's a death blow to you. And I'm so sorry I didn't explain that to everybody beforehand because I thought Russell Westbrook was going to come in, be triple-double machine, love playing in Los Angeles, play some of his best basketball right now, and be able to carry us through these moments when LeBron James was inevitably going to miss time with injury. History shows us that the LeBron James that Cleveland and Miami had is not the guy we got. We got a guy who's going to average probably 20 or plus missed games a year. That's who we've had. We ain't had the Iron Man Bron. Bron missed 6 games his whole career until he got here, and he's missed all of those games and more since. You got to know what you have, Lakers. Now, I told you guys in a video I made yesterday, I would have traded LeBron James and Anthony Davis 3 weeks ago, a month ago, because I know LeBron was at his highest peak. He was playing some of his best ball. He was rolling. But you don't go upwards when you're this age, man. Your body ain't going up. I don't care how great you are. It's not going up. It's going down from here. So you have to understand. LeBron James and his pattern. He goes where he goes. He creates a win-now situation. He wins what he can win, gets into the finals, either wins or loses. Most of the time loses. And he bounces. And he leaves the team in disarray with all the bad contracts and nonsense that is usually signed on for past his tenure with the squad. He's done this in Miami and he did it to Cleveland. And he's done it to us. You have to trade him. You have to. You don't have a choice. And the longer you wait, the more his value is going down. Because what the league is starting to realize is the same thing that I just said. He ain't about to be Iron Man Bron. No more. He's going to miss an average of 20 games or more for the rest of his career. Probably both years of it. Because he ain't going to stay that long. How long you think this man going to go? You didn't want to fire your coach in time to make this a season. In my opinion. Even though there's 30-something games left. You should have fired him as soon as it became very clear that he couldn't get the most out of the roster that you have. You should have done that. You dragged your feet on that for reasons that are inexplicable to me. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe you don't see it the way I do. But you're getting the results of what it is I told you would happen. You got to fire Frank Vogel. So that you can get a coach in here that can get the players who are doing nothing and make them look like they have more value than they actually do. You need a Mike D'Antoni type. Someone who can make Kent Bazemore look like a guy that's a regular role player again. Somebody who can see the fruit in playing Dwight Howard and allowing him to average a double-double, which is not hard for Dwight because he pulls down boards in his sleep. And ain't that bad from the line. But you got to play him in order to do that. This coach ain't going to do that. I'm looking around at the roster and I'm telling you, none of these guys are anything anyone would want. None of them, except for the ones I've already mentioned. And some of them, it's like, okay, well, I'll give you a little bit of something for him. I'm not going to give you a whole lot for THT because he's playing bad. Got to wait on him. I'm not going to give you a whole lot for Russell Westbrook because his contract's horrible. I don't even want that. You see what I'm saying? I do want AD. If I'm Sacramento or Orlando or somebody, hell yeah, I want AD. I'll give you a bunch of picks for AD right now. Even as all that stuff I said, he's still AD. What, 28? Yeah. If I'm Boston, I've wanted AD for 10 years. Yeah, I want AD. I might give you Jaylen Brown for him. All I'm saying is this. I don't want to trade LeBron James and Anthony Davis. I feel it's disrespectful to trade LeBron James. He should never have to face trade in his career. But this is his fault. He traded himself. Once he acquired Russell Westbrook, he knew that there was a chance that the Lakers would not have no other path forward and would have to make a decision. And he also banked on the fact that we wouldn't have the balls to do it. Think about it. You think he didn't see these angles? He didn't see these angles? He saw all this. He didn't care. Just like he didn't care about Cleveland. Why? Because he's going to win now. Y'all got a championship out of it, didn't you? Be happy. How you go forward, your business. You'll figure it out. That's how he operates. And look, you already know he has a path out of here. Why? Because you can't secure his son's draft rights. If you're lucky, maybe his son will fall to the second round or something as to what you can acquire the pick that may get him. Maybe you can do something to make it happen. But with what assets? With what assets would you even be able to acquire his son when you're giving away all your picks? See what I'm saying? So he's going to bounce and go play in San Antonio or wherever his son is drafted. He's going to sign a one-year deal wherever that kid goes. And you're going to be left with nothing. You have to jump off the LeBron James train before it comes to a stop. Or see how this plays out, and you're going to suck real bad for a long time with nothing to show for it. Think Detroit. That's who we're going to be. Detroit. Do you see how long it took for them to get a real play? Do you remember Detroit with Blake Griffin? That's who we're about to be. Because we're in the same boat as them. They had no picks, no young talent, and it was horrible there for a good 2-3 years until they just got Cade Cunningham right now. Cleveland, at least they have their picks now. But look where they just came from. How bad was it for the last several years in Cleveland? Have you been watching? I know that Rob Pelinka is in a tough spot because he doesn't have the power to just say, ooh, I have a great trade that can get us 4 picks and 2 players for Anthony Davis and just pull the trigger. I know he ain't going to do that because ain't nobody going to give him the okay to do that. But I'm telling you, if you want to salvage any chance of a future, you have to do that. And how am I looking at this LeBron James era? A success. We won a championship. 2020, he's been here for what, 4 years? 1 out of 4? Is that what it is? 1 out of 4? Because the first year was with the kids. Second year, we got AD. Got the championship. Third year was last year. This is the 4th year. So 1 out of 4. That's okay. It's not great. But if you look at LeBron James' final record, yeah, that's what you got. That's what you signed up for. His record's bad. In the finals, it's not very good. He loses more than he doesn't. So, getting a championship with LeBron James, A1. It's time to cut our losses. You jump off the ship now. Get the assets you can for this guy. Start the rebuild right now. And 2 years from now, you'll be able to get the best players in the league on this team. Esther Rich ain't going to be here 2 years from now anyway. If you really think about it, he's probably going to leave then. You just got out of the way early and made sure you were in a position to get him. Now, look, everybody's looking to be crazy, but 2 years from now, there's going to be a player, whoever he is. He's going to come into this league, and you're going to wish you had him. It's the same thing I said about Darius Garland. Don't trade away the 4th pick for Anthony Davis. Don't trade away Brandon Ingram. All your asses had to do was wait a year, and you could sign him outright. All you would have to let go is Brandon Ingram or something, and you would have had Lonzo Ball. You would have had all these other assets. Y'all let Juju walk for nothing, just so you could create space for LeBron James. Juju should still be on this team. We could have kept him and then traded him later for a couple picks. There's a lot of different things we could have did. If you look at all the players that the Lakers have had, the list of young players that we have had has been unbelievable. I literally think we have had 2 playoff rosters worth of young players on this team over the last 6 years, 7 years. 2 playoff rosters worth of players. I'm going to figure out all of the players that we've gotten rid of. It's so many, it's ridiculous. Y'all know GP2 up there in Golden State, who's jumping all over people and doing all kinds of great stuff? You know we had him, right? He was a Laker. He's one of the list. I had forgotten that. GP2, who's making a name for himself in Golden State, was a Laker. Twice. Like, these are the type of things I'm talking about. We can't possibly think that we're going to have a good next couple of years if we stay on this train, y'all. And as I said back then, the whole league is full of players that used to play for the Lakers. The whole league. And look at where we're at. Y'all happy with this? I ain't happy with this. Think about it. Are you really happy with this, Laker fans? I'm miserable with this roster. I hate this roster. This roster is the second worst roster we've had since the Sacre roster. Smush Parker and Tarek Black. This is one of those. That's what we got. Trade him now. Trade him now. Trade him now, and you won't regret it. You trade him now, you get back the most you can for him. You send LeBron James to Cleveland, you send him to Philly, I don't care where you send him. You send him somewhere where you can get picks and assets, young players right now. And you won't regret it. Because you ain't win the championship this year. And I guarantee you bring back them 3 players next year, and you ain't winning next year either. And guess what? You ain't got no choice. You're definitely bringing them back next year because you can't get rid of them. You refuse to trade AD, you refuse to trade Bron, and you're not getting nothing for Westbrook. Nothing. So the path forward is to trade those guys. Now, the thing about it is this. Who has the balls to do it? Who's going to look Rich Paul and I and say, we trading Bron? Nobody. I would. And I would explain to everybody what I just explained to you. We don't have no path forward. Nobody wants to trade LeBron James. I can't stress that enough. It's not that you want to do this. It's that you need to. It's that you don't have no other choice. It's either that or ride all the way down to the cellar with nothing to show for it. 2027 is the next time we have a pick. 2027 is 2022. We ain't even got to the summer of 2022. 2023, 2024, 2025, 2026, 2027, and they're dangling that pick. They're dangling the 2027 pick, which means we could be looking at 2028. It's the next time we'll be able to get a young player. Do you have any idea how bad we're going to be until then? I don't think you do. You think you hate this roster now, Laker fans? Guarantee you're going to hate 2025 a lot worse. 2024 is going to be a hard year. I'm trying to tell y'all, man, this is not something I'm confused about. I know how this plays out. I've watched other teams go through this. You don't hang on to a top-heavy roster that can't win a championship. 3 max contracts with 3 guys that are not good enough to get you to the championship right now. I'm sorry. They're just not. We're not beating Phoenix. We're not beating Golden State. We're not beating Milwaukee. We're not beating Brooklyn. We're not even beating some of the teams that we're supposed to beat. I don't think we could beat Miami in a 7-game series right now. LeBron James can, of course, go for 37-7. AD may be able to do a couple things until he falls on the ground and gets hurt. And that's another thing. I'm sorry, man. But I can live without AD. Do you know why? Because I get a panic attack every time he hits the floor. Every time the man drops, I think he's injured. Who wants to live with that anxiety, fam? I don't. I didn't feel that way when Kobe was playing. He got hurt, he'd get up. And if he didn't get up, you knew it was bad. Didn't deal with that stuff with the players that we've had before. All of the players we have on this roster, with the exception of Russell Westbrook, of whom we would love to get rid of, is injury prone. Bron is injury prone. What? I'm going to say that here. LeBron James is injury prone. He's prone to injury, fam. I told you guys maybe a month ago that I didn't think he was going to make it through the season. Why? I'll tell you why. Because we were running him at center, banging with big players. How the hell is a 37-year-old guy going to be able to bang with big players and make it all the way through the season doing the same stuff? You think the coach would have adjusted so that he didn't have to do that? No. He's playing great. Let's just keep running him at center. Idiot. It's not going to work. He's old. You're playing him like 30-plus minutes, banging against bigger players. How's he supposed to make it through the season, y'all? All of this is foreseeable. And you know what else is foreseeable? Us not winning a championship. I'll bet the whole farm on that. And I don't think it's too many people who want to take that bet against me. I mean, shit. Would you? Would you want to bet the Lakers are going to win the championship this year? I don't think you do. I know how to fix this. You have to do what it is you didn't want to do. But you don't blame yourself for that. You blame LeBron James. Because he's the one that wanted to bring Russell Westbrook's guillotine of a contract. Cut our complete heads off with that nonsense. Can't get rid of it. He ain't going to play well enough to play it up. The coach ain't going to put him in a position to look good. Where do you win? Where's the success? Where's the path to him working out? See, this is another thing. Get me a coach that can make Russell Westbrook look like Russell Westbrook. Vogel makes Russell Westbrook look like half of himself with the roster situations and the situations he put him in. Why in the hell are you giving Russell Westbrook the ball with 9 seconds to go? All he's going to do is lose the game. You know that. How is that going to make anybody want to pick him up and acquire him? You don't see the fruit in getting rid of the coach to make the team better. You don't see the fruit in realizing that this guy, the coach, rather LeBron James and these guys are not going to get you the value. But you also don't want to trade him? So essentially you're just going to sit here and fall on the sword. But you're still going to you're still going to charge people the same amount for the tickets though, huh? See, that's the problem. That's where I have a problem. Them tickets still going to be high, even though the product ain't no good. No. I've been a Laker fan all my life, and I'm telling you, this is one of the more disappointing times of being a Laker fan. This is down there with the Jim Buss era. But in some ways it's worse, because at least with Jim Buss, you knew you had your picks. We could look forward to say, okay, we got the number 2 pick coming up. We got another number 2 pick coming up. And we had a number 7 pick. All those years we were horrible. We could at least say, well, I'm not going to watch this season. Let's just focus on the draft. We can't focus on the draft. We're going to be looking at players who are going to have the word Laker. They're going to have a Laker hat on when they draft it, but it's going to go straight to the Pelicans. That's what's going to happen. Those guys are going to be playing with Zion and B.I., whoever we pick up. And the next year, same thing. And the next year, same thing. And the next year, same thing. Rest comfortably, Lakers, understanding that you don't have a choice. That's what you need to understand. Rest very comfortably knowing that you don't have a choice. LeBron tied your hands up when he asked for Russell Westbrook. You should have never did that. You should have been able to explain to him in that day. As soon as he said, okay, no, I'm cool on Buddy Hield, get me Russell Westbrook. You should have said, okay. But if you can't make it happen, we are going to have to move you. You're the one that's going to have to be moved. And you should be fine with that because you can't win here. Bron, you should be fine with that because you cannot win here, bro. If LeBron James has any love for Laker fans at this point, he'll demand a trade. I kid you not. If he really with us, then he'll demand a trade right now. Because that's the only way we're going to be able to recoup the assets. That'll make us anything less than terrible for the next 5 years. That's how you help us, dog. You've already gotten us a championship. Thank you. Your name is going to go up in the rafters. You're a Laker for sure. You're a Laker fan, bro. You just made a bad decision. You ain't learned from past mistakes. You wanted to continue bring bad rosters to this team so that you can make yourself have the biggest challenge possible so that you can find yourself above Michael Jordan, for which you never will be. Ain't got nothing to do with your talent. He's perfect in the finals, fam. He never lost. In the finals, you can't beat that. I don't care how many times you get to the finals. You've lost too much. You ain't never getting there, bro. Ain't nobody gonna argue you have more athleticism. You clearly do. Ain't nobody gonna argue that you have more attributes to your game. You do. Player to player, Bron is better than Mike. I'm gonna tell y'all that right now. He is. The game comes easier to him. His body can physically do more. He sees the floor better than Mike. It was a lot of things that he had on Mike. But what he didn't have on Mike was wins and defense. He was never a better defender than Mike. Never. And he never, ever, ever was able to have a perfect record in the finals. He didn't have Phil Jackson. I'll shoot him some bail. Bron ain't never had that type of coaching. He still don't. Best coach he ever had, Eric Spoelstra. That's where he got most of his rings, is it not? Got 2 with Miami, 1 with the Cleveland, 1 with the Lakers. He got his best stuff out of Spoelstra. When he had good coaching, he was able to win more. I'll give him that. He never had Phil Jackson. If he had Phil Jackson, he probably would have a perfect record. But that wasn't his reality, and it ain't nobody's fault. It just is what it is. You can't chase that ghost. And you're certainly not going to chase that ghost by making things harder on yourself and ruining franchises as you leave them. I'm sorry, man. That's the truth. Ain't a soul gonna tell you that but me, I guess. But I'm gonna tell you that. And I ain't a LeBron hater. I ain't running around saying, "Oh, LeBron's quitting." I don't care about all that, bro. I care about this. I'm not interested in likes. I'm not interested in subs when I talk about the Lakers. I'm talking about my team, bro. I'm talking about a team that I've rooted for since I was 9 years old. Some of the best moments I ever had spending time with my friends and my mother. Some of the best moments I've had on earth have been watching the Lakers. This matters. A lot. You can bury me in a Laker casket, fam, with a purple and gold suit on. I'll be happy with that. I kid you not. It's that real. I don't have to make a dime off this. This is passion. And I'm telling you, we don't have a path forward unless we turn AD and Bron into picks and players that we can then flip for other picks and players. That's what's going to give us an opportunity to play for another championship. Not riding this out with this man and this roster. And I can't stress this enough. AD and Bron together can win a championship. They've already done it. They can win many. I think Bron and AD, if they were to go to Nuggets right now, they'd win championships. It's not them. They're not the problem. It's the fact that you cannot get the players that make the team good enough for them to win. That's it. Ain't got nothing to do with those two not being good enough to win. That's stupid. I would never get on here and say no dumb stuff. That's not the problem. The problem is us and the choices we've made around those two contracts. Rob Pelinka. Sorry, bro. It really does boil down to Rob. Because Rob needed to have the guts to look Rich Paul in the eye and say, we're not going to do what Bron wants us to do. You better go back, talk to your boy, and let him know we can't do it. Because if we do that, it's going to reflect poorly on my career as a GM. It's going to reflect poorly on this roster. And ultimately, our fans are going to be unhappy. We can't do this. And he didn't do that. They all went along with this plan, and it didn't work. You can't bring Russell Westbrook to us, surround us with a bunch of guys who shouldn't be playing on this roster no more, and think you're going to win. They can't carry the load. Now, if you get me old Bron, who could play 82 games plus playoffs without getting injured, you give me AD who's scoring 57 and 10 rebounds and 5 blocks like he did in New Orleans, and you get me Russell Westbrook who plays smarter than the actual Russell Westbrook, heck yeah, they can win dragging bad players, but not the current versions of themselves. They can't drag Kent Bazemore to a championship. And you can't turn Kent Bazemore into Jeremy Grant. And that is the most important part to know. You can't turn DJ into Buddy Hield. It's not possible. So, you got to trade Bron, and if Bron loves us, he'll ask for a trade just to relieve us of this nonsense and to give himself an opportunity at another championship. If Bron goes plays with Joel Embiid right now, he'll probably win this year. Or he'll at least be up there in the Eastern Conference Finals to see Kyrie and them. He'll be there. I have no doubt. Even the injured Bron, he comes back healthy, he'll blow straight through the playoffs. He is Bron. I ain't stupid. I know what I'm looking at. But he has to have some teammates, man. And we have no path to acquiring them. Now, if you guys can work some back channels out, do some things, pull another Kwame Brown for Pau Gasol, that's what needs to happen. You got to be able to pull a rabbit out of the hat. You don't have any friends in the NBA. Ain't nobody trying to help the Lakers get championship number 18. Who the hell wants to help us? I'm sorry. It's not like we're the underdog squad that's never won it and have a bunch of friends all over the league. We don't. Rob Pelinka, he don't have a lot of friends. Jeannie Buss, we don't have a lot of friends around the league that's going to be like, oh, let me bail y'all out so y'all can continue y'all dominance. Hell no. Have you listened to what Jerry West is saying? He's throwing dirt on our name right now. We don't have friends. And that's a key component. Because you're not able to do those type of deals because of it. I don't want my team to go down this path because I don't want to watch that. I don't want the public to have to pay $3,000-$4,000 for tickets to watch a bad team over the next 4 years. I'm not going to encourage my friends on this channel to go to no Laker games or watch Laker games when we know damn well we have no reason to even watch, no assets and no good players. Come on. LeBron James fans, they're going to be miserable and they're going to blame the Lakers because we, quote unquote, ruined his career. They ain't going to want to watch this either. Watch their man go down in flames. It's bad enough y'all forced us to watch Kobe go down like that. Not getting him the players that he needed. Just paying him and saying, please drive our tank while we suck for a while. That wasn't right. We did it. We loved it because we appreciated Kobe. But he deserved better from us too. That Jim Buss nonsense should have never even taken place. That was a disgrace on his career. Y'all should have never put him through that. And here we go again, putting us through this. I tell you, if I wasn't a Laker fan, I'd be sick of the Lakers. I kid you not. Anyway, that's what I have to say, man. I'm running out of time anyway. That's my little rant for the day. Bron's going to be out for a little while. He probably still believes we can win. I listened to AD. He said we're still a good team. AD, friend, we're the Lakers. I don't give a damn about the word good, homie. Good ain't good enough. If we ain't great, we suck. We only know two things, championship or bust. That's all we know. That's all we want to know. We didn't get 17 by thinking we was going to be good was enough. Fam, good ain't enough. We didn't get you and get Bron and then get Brody to be good. We got y'all to be great. And you can't deliver. You cannot deliver. I feel sorry for AD. Because he's on for the ride. That's all this is. He's along for the ride. If I were him, I'd demand a trade too. Please send me to Boston. Please send me to Cleveland. Send me anywhere. Just don't make me sit through this if I'm AD. Y'all ain't about to ruin my prime. Having me look crazy playing the center position because y'all ain't smart enough to fire this idiot of a coach and smart enough to trade LeBron James to get some assets so I don't be stuck here looking bad over the next several years trying to drag this train. Because that's exactly what they're going to do to you, AD. They ain't going to trade you. They're going to ask you to drag this train. Drive this tank. That's what they're going to ask you to do. They're going to ask you to Kobe this thing through your year 30, age 31. You're going to be that guy. You don't want to be that. You know why? Honestly, because your body ain't going to be able to handle that. That's the truth. You know it or not know it. Your body can't handle that. Trade Bron. Trade AD. You're stuck with Russell. Period. That's it. Can't do nothing else. You don't have no other choices, Lakers. That is really it. My name is BDF44. Thank y'all for watching. I'm out.